It is time to update my scrapbook and we're gonna do it together. So much to cut out. Like literally hundreds of pictures. I did this cute cover page. I cannot do any more scrapbooking. It's time to update my scrapbook, and I have June and July to update pretty urgently because at the end of next week I'm going on a road trip and starting my kind of travel life, if you will, and I know that I'm going to have a lot of stuff to scrapbook from those trips. So I really wanted to get my scrapbook all up to date before I go, which is kind of a big job because I don't really scrapbook super consistently. I kind of like to leave it in chunks and do a whole bunch together so that, you know, I can print all the photos together and I can just get it all done in like one big chunk. When I was doing my scrapbook from last year, it was my first year scrapbooking, so I started in about August and I went back and did the first 6 or 7 months in one sitting, and then at the end of the year I finished off the scrapbook for the end of the year. So I basically did a whole year's scrapbook in 2 sittings. This year I've been a lot better. I did January, February together, March, April, May together, and now it's time for June and July. There's a few things that I need to do for updating my scrapbook. So first I've got to go through my phone and organize all the photos from the last 2 months, and then I'll put the photos on Canva so that I can print them. And then tomorrow I'll go to Officeworks and get the pictures printed, and then I will come home and cut everything out and stick it in and do the fun part. So this is kind of like the life admin part of it, which is, in my opinion, the most boring part. You know, getting all the photos and sizing them up is just, it just takes a long time, but it is an important part of the process because if you don't have photos, you don't have anything to scrapbook. If you want to jump straight into the scrapbooking bit, I've got timestamps in the description. But as a bit of context, I started scrapbooking last year, as I said, mid-year, and I didn't really know if I was going to like scrapbooking. So I bought a pretty cheap book journal thing. The main purpose was just to see if I liked it and not be a perfectionist and just get the memories onto the paper. And I'm really glad I did because it's really helped me with a lot of things like perfectionism and procrastination and like all that kind of stuff. Doing a scrapbook really helps you learn that messy and imperfect action is always better than waiting for perfect action, because it's never going to be perfect, and if you don't just get it down, then you miss the memory or you miss the moment. And then it's so much better to have a messy, less aesthetic journal but that actually have a journal than to not have anything because you're too worried about making it perfect and then it just stays blank. This was a big learning year for me. Mostly it's just pictures that I printed out and then a little bit of writing about like where we were or what we did. You know, like this one has a big letter to myself about getting my first tattoos. I did my book reviews in here, which was also good because at that point I didn't have a reading journal. This year I have a reading journal. It's really fun to look back on and I love looking back on it. Like here I climbed my first tree and I had so many photos that I put like the writing behind. But then this year, because I knew I loved scrapbooking, I invested in a much better, amazing journal, to be honest. You know, the really thick paper and the embossed front, and it's stunning. The quality is great, and you can tell she's already thick. This is only up till March, so she's getting chunky. This year I've made it a lot prettier. That's my cover page for the year. I did a lot more fun scrapbook stuff this year, so I did an ins and outs page, a bingo card, which I haven't done very much of because the year has not gone how I thought it was going to go. And then at the beginning of every month I do a cover page with a pretty little kind of like background and some photos to sort of summarize that month, and then I just go wild and I basically document whatever happened. Sometimes I'll put all the things that I baked and I cooked. Sometimes I do little things that I get inspired from other people. This is something I saw Georgia Richards do, and essentially it says, how lucky am I to, and then you write all things on the outside like, how lucky am I to not know where my life is going next, or how lucky am I to have so many good books to read. Now it's time to get my photos together for June and July so I can get that done before I go away next week. I think I'm gonna get onto my phone and start organizing the pictures that I want to put in my scrapbook for the last 2 months. Basically, my criteria for what I put in my scrapbook is anything that was a good memory or even something that was like really funny and niche. I like putting in the moments that maybe, you know, you wouldn't normally post other places because they're not super aesthetic or anything, but you remember them. So that's kind of like my criteria. It's fun looking through your photos even from a month or two ago, because typically you don't, you know, look through them that much, but when you do look through them, it reminds you how much has happened and how much you've done, which you generally forget. Okay, so now I have all the photos in my folder, but there is 242 photos in there, which is, it's a little bit much for 2 months. The reason that there's so many photos in there is that I pretty much photo dump all of the options and then I go through them after. So now I'm gonna go through and cull some of them. So again, this is a little bit of a tedious process, but it is what it is. I will check back in when we're ready to put them on my computer. Okay, so we have all of our photos. There is 193 for the last 2 months, which is a lot, but it's okay because it won't actually take up that much space in the scrapbook because I do, you know, make them pretty small and cut them up. So now that all the photos are organized, I'm just going to put them into Canva, arrange them into some A4 sheets, and then I'll be ready to print them tomorrow morning at Officeworks. So I should go to Officeworks, which is just around the corner, and then we will print my pages. And then after my pages are printed, I'm gonna go home and update my scrapbook with you. I am home. I have so much to cut out. I have 38 pages of pictures, which is insane. I know. That's what happens when you do them months at a time. And yeah, I might put a show on or YouTube or something like that and then just get in the zone and cut out. And I like to cut out everything and then sort of section it into piles. So it'll be like each month we'll have a pile, you know, and then from that I'll also split it into like more specific events or days or whatever sort of happened so that I can put them in my scrapbook together. I also bought some new highlighters, which I didn't need that much, but I just thought they were so cute. It is such a cozy, rainy, wet day, and I'm so glad that I don't have to go anywhere and I just get to stay home. It just feels so meant to be because the weather is so cute and cozy. I have so many pictures, like literally hundreds of pictures. So I need to sit down and organize them into like month and sort of events or days so I know like which photos are going to go on which spread, and then I need to choose my cover photo spreads and then lay everything out and just, yeah, get to sticking things down. I think I'll set you up somewhere so that you can watch me organize my photos, and then we'll do some spreads together, and then that will probably be the end of this video. This is June and everything else is July because I had a very, very packed July and not a very big June. What I'm gonna do now is plan June, and maybe we could plan June together. Be real with you right now, I full crashed and burned out. I I cannot do any more scrapbooking. I printed out far too many photos for July and I'm just getting like I'm not having fun anymore, and the whole point of scrapbooking is to have fun. So I'm respectfully gonna call it a day and come back to this another time. But I thought I could show you, a little bit of what I did. It was pretty simple. For June, I did this cute cover page. And then I have some writing to fill in for some of the days. I did this because I thought it'd be really cute to do a page of selfies. Part of the thing that I love about journaling is documenting my life. I think it's so common for us not to document ourselves. I mean, on social media, we document ourselves a lot, but it's very showy and for other people. I love unashamedly putting a lot of pictures of myself in my scrapbook as like an act of self-love and to remember myself at this current time. I don't want it just to be pictures of other people and then I look back and I'm like, why aren't I in this at all? This is my May cover page and there's a couple of pictures of me on here. And April, March, I just think it's really fun to put lots of myself in here. I definitely want to finish July soon, but I'm just not gonna put pressure on myself to finish it. This one I think is so cute, and these are double-sided pictures, which I think is so cute. And then in here I'm gonna write a little bit about what happened. I am happy with my progress, but I just need to call it a day, if you know what I mean. So I'm gonna pack all this up, but I just wanted to say thank you for doing my scrapbook with me this week. I guess I'll see you in the next video. Bye!